So I asked my good old pal Sarah to email me because she has been my best friend for quite some time now. And Jesus. And so she's either been like there for a lot of my stories or she's heard about them, or so I asked her to email me random stories that have happened in my life. And I'm going to talk about them. So I haven't looked at anything that she sent me. I don't know anything that she sent me. So let's get into it. So, let's see here. The time you went into an old antique shop, it was actually a Chinese family's house. So this happened, I was interning in Toronto at the time, and I was on my lunch break, and it was in Chinatown. And I go out, and I'm just like walking up and down the streets, probably eating some ice cream. And there was like some shops at the bottom floor of houses, and there was a door open. So I went in and I'm looking around, and like, I'm not joking, I thought this was an antique shop. There was shit just everywhere. So I'm full on looking around, and I see this little girl come out, and she's like, Mama! And Mom comes around. I'm in a house. I'm in a family's house, not an antique store. The time you got punked with the wallet in LeBron. This is actually a very crazy day that happened to me last summer. So I gotta get up for this. This is a good one. So last summer I pick up my buddy Brian, whose real name is Brennan, so I go and pick up Brian, gets in my car, and there's an ambulance outside his house. So I was like, oh my God, like what happened? And he's like, oh, there's a girl just doing the bacon on the patio, which is a terrible, terrible saying, but so hilarious. So girls doing the bacon, we leave, we park, we go to LeBron, we're walking up, and so me and Brian are walking, and we're like doing this little jig, and I look up, and there's this guy about to cross the crosswalk, and he's doing this. I'm wearing Christmas pants because I didn't think I'd ever stand up in this video, but so he's doing this. If you can see my legs bouncing. So all of a sudden I'm like, he's dancing. So now me, Brian, and this guy are all like doing this weird freaking jig. All of a sudden, this guy goes into a seizure. He wasn't dancing, he was having a seizure. He was doing the goddamn bacon. So he ended up being fine. He was okay. Like, he was perfectly okay. He got up a second later and walked it off like nothing had happened, and his daughter just kept walking with him. So strange. So anyway, fast forward to like 2 hours later, me, Dom, and Brian are walking through LeBron, and there's this kid in front of us, and he drops his wallet. So I'm like, run to go pick it up, and as soon as I go to pick it up, this kid just swipes it and like pulls off to the side, and I'm like, hey, he's got your wallet, and I'm like, dude, and I'm like, mighty Chantel is like, give it back, yo, that's not your wallet. So then I'm like trying to get this guy's attention, be like, he's got your wallet, and like this guy I'm trying to fight. All of a sudden they're like, look up. I was being filmed. I got punked at LeBron. So yeah, everybody's safe. Like, hero Chantel saves the day. There's that story. The time Kate used your 18th birthday pic to catfish you on Tinder. This happened like maybe 2 months ago. I had a guy that I went to high school with had DM'd me on Instagram, and he's like, hey, like, I can probably find it. Okay, apparently I don't have it. So anyway, so this kid I went to high school with messaged me on Instagram and was like, hey, like, you should see this. And I open it, and it's a Tinder profile of a girl using my 18th birthday picture. It wasn't, I was holding like a refreshing icy drink. It was there was no alcohol in it. I was 18. So this girl is using my 18th birthday picture on Tinder. Her name was Kate, and she was 18. So if any of you are Kate, or if anybody knows who Kate is, let me know, and I will definitely send you better pictures of myself. So at least, you know, Gavin Grant here, at least make me look good. What else do we have here? Your first time dog sitting. My first time dog sitting. I don't know what goes on when I house sit. There's like things that always happen. There's been a fire. There's been partial death. There's been this dog. So I'm house sitting. I'm like 18 years old. This family leaves on a trip, so they let me, like, I literally just stayed at their house for a week, like looked after their dog. And the day they left, their dog literally went to the front door and did not move. It didn't move at all for days. So I messaged her and I was like, everything's going great. Your house is fine, but your dog is not. Like, hasn't, literally, I'm not joking, did not leave. There was like windows beside the door and it just sat there looking out, just waiting. And like, I was nice to this thing. I was like, let's play, buddy. And he was like, nope. So sat there for like, I'm not joking, a week waiting for his people to come home, his humans, and his humans come home and I leave, and I find out like a year later that like 2 days after I left, the dog died. So that wasn't me. That was just like literally died of a broken heart, which is so sad. The time you gave the cop your pack of zigzags instead of your license. So this story is a good one, and it hasn't been talked about much because it kind of makes me look like a degenerate, but we'll tell it today. So me and Sarah were in Toronto. We went to Vapor Lounge, Vapor Central, and we watched a comedy show, a good old comedy show. So we drive home. We are in the Tim Hortons drive-thru, and it was like 2 months after my birthday, and I knew my sticker on my license plate was expired. So I look up and there's a cop behind me in the drive-thru, and I'm like, as soon as he looks at my license plate, he's gonna see it's expired and probably pull me over. And here me and Sarah are getting donuts, bagels, ice caps, like the whole 9 freaking yards. So we drive away, we get out, I think I'm good, all of a sudden, because that's what cop cars do. I get pulled over. So I pull over and I'm like, fuck. I'm really like, fuck. So then, and keep in mind, this whole time that I was pulled over, Sarah did not put her bagel down. She didn't stop drinking. Like, she literally just munched the whole time. I'm tripping balls. So cop comes up, he's like, license, registration, all that. So it's winter, I go in my winter jacket and I just pull out what I think is my license. I hand the cop a pack of zigzags. Looks at, oh, you're a toker. And I was like, sometimes. And then keep eating. Sarah's munching beside me. I'm tripping out, goes back to his car, comes back. I also didn't have my insurance slip on me because who knows where that is. And so didn't have my insurance slip on me. My ticket's expired. Handed the cop a pack of zigzags. Comes back, gives me a ticket from my license plate light being out. It was like $30. Great day. Successful day. Like, clap on the back to ya, Chantel. I could have actually, PSA though, that like could have gone really bad and you shouldn't do that, but like, you know, live life, my friends. The time we went to the comedy show at Vape Central and the bit was on your awful date. I went on a date with this guy once, and it was, you know what, I don't even want to talk about this date because it was so freaking terrible. I went on a date with this guy, and it was just, he was something else, like so awkward. I didn't know he had like some sort of kidney disease or something, so he couldn't drink. Well, I showed up to the date half smashed anyways, and the whole date was just like, I'm a riot, having so much fun. He was the most awkward soul I've ever come into. Fast forward like 3 years, and I see this kid has a comedy bit on some sort of show. And it's titled Awful Dates or Bad Dates or something. This kid went on this show and talked about our date. And that's how bad it was. And that's basically how my whole dating life went until I met Dom. Just one giant comedy show. Well, that's it for my stories today. Bye. No, but honestly, my life is just one giant, like, just... But you know what? I don't mind my life being this much in shudders, because realistically, if it didn't happen, my life wouldn't be as humorous as it is. And I think some of these stories are hilarious. So, that's it. That's all. That's my stories. Stay tuned.